All right, let's go down the hill. Fairly steep, fairly rocky. As we can see, I'm just going to take it easy.
Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks, and this beast of a machine is the Duotts F26, and this is the bike that we're going to be reviewing today. So let's go. So what have we got here? Well, basically we have a very, very powerful fat-tired e-bike that can go both on-road and off-road with absolute ease. And when I say powerful, that is perhaps an understatement, because this bike has two 750 watt motors, giving it total power of 1,500 watts. Unbelievable. It's powered by a 48 volt 20 Ah Samsung battery, which fits into the frame here, and that's something that I like because it doesn't have the battery sticking out on the frame, so very, very discreet. You can also take the battery out and charge it indoors, or you can plug it in here and charge it on the bike. Very, very handy indeed. The tires, 26 inches and 4 inches wide, and give fantastic traction both on and off-road. We've got both front and rear hydraulic disc brakes, which stop the bike very, very well. Even a powerful bike like this one is stopped well by the quality of these brakes. Another feature of this e-bike is that it has both pedal assist and also throttle control. You can use both together, or you can use either one at a time, either throttle or only pedal assist, and it's a 5-speed pedal assist. You've got 0, which is no electric power at all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 being the maximum power of this bike. The weight of the bike comes in at just under 40 kilos. I think 39.5 kilos is the weight of this bike, so it's not for everyone, but I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video when we go for a test ride. It's got a 7-speed Shimano gear kit, which work very, very well, very smooth both up and down. The frame is solid, made with aluminium and alloy. We've got adjustable front suspension forks, but there's no rear suspension on this bike, which is a bit of a downer, so going over bumps can be an issue. But the positive thing is that the seat is nice and comfy, so it takes care of some of those bumps. We've got a Shimano Tawny derailleur, which seems to be fairly good quality. We've got a front light here, which is very bright, fantastic for night riding. We've also got a rear light, and it also is a brake light, so people know when you're stopping. Some of the extras that this bike comes with are these mudguards here, both front and rear. Also this bike rack that you can put your backpack onto should you want to do that, or carry anything on the back of this bike. And the maximum weight capacity that this bike can handle is 150 kilos, so good for people on the heavier side too. We've also got an LED display, which we'll see in action when I do the riding test. We've got the speed control on the handlebars too, the on and off button also. We've got the front light here. We've also got the front motor activation button here also, so you can go with either the rear motor or both motors at the same time. We've also got an electric horn. So all in all, a good quality e-bike with plenty of pros, but it does have some cons. The maximum legal speed of this bike is 25 kilometers an hour, and it can't go over that speed because it's set and fixed at that speed limit. But there is a way that you can remove that speed limiter and get up to speeds of around 60 kilometers an hour, but unfortunately here in Spain that is not legal. And if you want to ride at that type of speed here in Spain and many other countries, you're going to have to register this bike as a moped. It's not a difficult process, but it will take some time, and that will give you the opportunity to open up the full potential of this beast. Now I've currently got the throttle set up on this bike, and I've also taken off the speed limit just to show you guys in the video some of the speeds that this bike can do. But again, I don't recommend doing that here in Spain, and if you want to, as I said, you're going to have to register as a moped. Now the bike comes delivered around 75% set up. It's going to take you around an hour or so to get the rest of the bike put together, but not too difficult. And if I could do it, basically anybody could do it. All of the tools that you need are included in the box. It also comes with a pump and a USB connection, so you can connect your telephone and charge it at the same time. So those are some of the key aspects of this bike. So let's take it now for a spin. Now the first thing we'll do is show some of the pedal assist options that we've got currently in 0, and I'm moving it around 8 kilometers an hour. Very heavy bike, so I don't recommend this particular mode. So I'll put it into 1 and see the motor kick in. So now you can see that motor's kicked in, and I'm up now cruising at 17, 19, 20 kilometers an hour in the first speed. As I said, the bike hasn't got the limit set. so I can go faster than 25 kilometers an hour, but I don't recommend you do that unless you are an experienced e-bike rider. Let's pop it up to 2. Another thing you'll notice is the sound of those tires on the road. Very noisy, but of course when you've got these big 4-inch wheels with the traction that we've got here, it's understandable. So, second gear or second speed, cruising at 24 with that pedal assist only. I'm not using the throttle. The throttle is here on my right. And if I turn that on, you'll see. And I've only got one motor running at the moment too. I'll put the second motor in action to go up a hill. But even with the second speed here, or the second assist number 2, ample speed and ample power. Now we've got a hill. Let's get up here. Let's see how we go. So let's up the ante. Let's see how we get up here. Now I'm going to kick the front motor in as well with this button here, DS. And wow, we take off. Up to 28, 29, 30 kilometers an hour going up this hill. Impressive. Now we'll ride around a little bit up here on the asphalt or the bitumen to get an idea of the type of riding experience that you'll get on this type of surface. We'll go into the car park here. And again, we can see that speed kicking up, which you've got to be careful with because it really takes off. We've got a very, very powerful set of motors here, 750 watts each, and they really kick in and you really notice it. But it comes in handy as soon as you start to go off-road. 20, 18, slowing down. You can see the quality of the brakes here. So that's both brakes and it stopped very, very easily. So good quality brakes on this bike, necessary because we're dealing with a heavy piece of equipment here. Now, again, the pedal assist kicks in. To make it easier, you bring the gears down. The gears here. So you've got first gear, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, very smooth. 7, you can really feel the resistance. So you've got to plan your gear shifting. Otherwise you can get stuck because it's not easy to pedal without the pedal assist and in those higher gears. So just a little bit of a pedal assist and you get up to 17, 18 kilometers an hour with absolute ease. Now we'll go up this hill here. Easy. Cruise around this car park here. The grip's unbelievable that these tires give you. I suppose you would expect that given what they look like. We'll see if we can get up to a decent speed here. I'm not going to go flat out, but we're up to nearly 30, 33, 34, 35. So you can get an idea of how fast this bike can go. But again, if you want to go those speeds, as I said before, you're going to have to register this machine as a moped, I think. At least here in Spain and other European Union countries because of the rules and regulations that are in place. Now, time to go off-road. We'll do another on-road test at the end, just to get up to that top speed. But the hill that we're going to go up here would test any e-bike. But luckily with the dual motors here, it should be an absolute piece of cake. I'll just turn the other motor on. We're in pedal assist 5 and automatically you can see that it starts to really crank up off-road. Let's go up this hill. Let's see how easy we get up. All right,
right, so we cruised up there at 25 kilometers an hour. No worries at all. I'll lower some of these gears because I'm coming into uphill territory. This one here, let's get up here if we can. Pedaling, only pedal assist currently. Very, very easy with the dual motors. Again, we'll go up here. I'm not using the throttle at all, but I'll bring that into play a little bit later. Now that front wheel, you've got to be careful because it really cranks in, and the acceleration on the bike is very, very fast. So you've got to be very careful with that. I'm going to deactivate it here. And I'm going to try and turn around here if I can. Not easy because we're dealing with such a big bike. Let's get up this hill here. No throttle, only pedal assist. Back engine only, a little bit of pedaling, but we cruise up here easily. No dramas. Another hill. Too easy. And on this type of path, it's not very technical, I don't think, but it's very, very comfortable. And even though it's only got front suspension, as I mentioned, for me it's enough. Because I personally won't be taking this bike on any really rugged terrain. You might want to do that, but for me, this bike's got everything I need. Now let's continue off-road. We'll head up here. An absolute breeze with only one of the motors working. Pedal assist. Now I'm going to use throttle only. And what I find the throttle does is that if you come to a standstill and you're on a little bit of a hill, for example, the throttle and the pedal assist at the same time make it really, really easy. All right, cruising along, pedal assist, 30 kilometers an hour, 32, 33, 34, maxing out. Now I think if I'm not mistaken, you've got the choice, and I might have mentioned this before, you can have only throttle or only pedal assist or both working in tandem. Again, using the throttle just lightly on the throttle, just to get us over these bumps. We've got someone up here, so we'll get out of the way. You've got to be careful with people walking, of course, with a beast like this. All right, let's continue. Quite bumpy here. But this bike goes over these bumps with absolute ease. No dramas at all. The front suspension, comfortable. My hands are not shaking all that much. The seat is comfortable, so it sort of makes up for the lack of rear suspension. But we get over these rocks here, only using the throttle. And remember, I've only got the rear motor engaged at the moment. And that's all I'm going to have for this part of the journey. Got a puddle here, we'll go around that, even though it wouldn't matter with these mud guards that we've got. You could go through any type of puddle or muddy conditions and you're not going to have any worries at all about getting wet or mud all over your clothes. So that was an absolute breeze getting up here. Absolute breeze. Let's have a look at the views. Wow. All right, let's continue. Now we'll go this way. Throttle to engage just to get that kick off. And when you're more comfortable about pedaling, you can bring that in as well. Let's get over here. Got to be careful on these tracks that other people aren't coming in the opposite direction. So always looking forward, always keeping an eye out. But what I will say is that this is a fantastic e-bike, comfortable, powerful, solid, and as you've seen, doesn't matter what type of terrain we've got, whether it's smooth or a bit bumpy, a bit rocky like this, the tires handle it extremely well. Bouncing up and down a bit here because it's quite rocky. Over that one there, no dramas. Now I'm using only the throttle to get through here. That makes it very, very comfortable. You don't have to worry about pedaling or sitting down to pedal. I'm standing up at the moment, which makes it a bit easier, let's say, to go over these bumps. I don't want to crank up to full speed over here because I don't want to have an accident. So always riding with caution, especially when you're trying out a beast like this for the first time. You'll get used to it, of course. I'll probably go faster on my normal bike without a motor over here, but just taking it easy. Now we've got a hill here, or an inclination. So we're gonna not kick the second motor in just yet. We're gonna get up this hill. This will be easy. Just with the throttle, no problem at all. Over the bumps, too easy. So we'll talk about the range, which is something that I haven't mentioned yet. According to the makers, you're going to get around 120 to 140 kilometers range with this bike. That's using the pedal assist mode, I believe, but I reckon that's a little bit of an exaggeration. You'd probably get around 60 to 80, which is fairly standard with most e-bikes. And also, if you only use the motor, that is no pedal assist at all, the throttle and the motor, the manufacturer says between 40 and 60. So we'll take a bit off that as well, probably 25 kilometers you would get. To charge the battery, to get a full charge from empty, you're looking at around 6 to 8 hours, so overnight. But with the combined mode, pedal assist and motor, 80 Ks, yeah, fairly good range. For a good day out on this e-bike, go out, ride around, take it into the mountains, take it off-road, and get home safely with a charge. Because if you had to pedal this bike all the way home, it wouldn't be easy. It could be done, but it wouldn't be easy. Now we're coming up to an area that's really going to test the capacity of this bike, but I'm confident because as we've seen so far, it's handled everything that I've thrown at it. All right, let's go down the hill. Fairly steep, fairly rocky. As we can see, I'm just going to take it easy. I'm standing up. Both brakes are engaged. All right, there we go. Now let's see if we can get up this hill with the same ease. Engage the throttle, bit of pedal assist. Only one motor working. Might have to kick the other one in. But let's see if we can get up this hill. All right, second motor engaging. It's on. All right, so it's just changed completely. Very easy to get up, bumpy, but over we go. No problem at all. So my final thoughts on this bike, the Duotts F26. Well, as I've said on a couple of occasions, this bike is not for everyone, basically because it's a big, heavy bike, 40 kilograms coming in at, and let's be honest, not everybody can handle a bike like this. Basically, the bigger and stronger you are, the better this bike would suit you. It has fantastic off-road capabilities, as we saw. These big fat tires get you over any type of surface. You could also use this bike as a commuter bike going to and from work because you get good range, around 80 to 100 kilometers you will get with the battery life on this bike, so that comes in handy as well. And of course, with the dual motors, motor on the back wheel, motor on the front wheel, 750 watts on each, you've got power to burn on this bike. But again, for some people, that might not be what they're looking for because it's just too powerful for them. Remember, here in the European Union, in Spain, 250 watts is the maximum you are allowed to have legally. So again, you would have to register this bike as a scooter or a moped, in my opinion, if you wanted to get the full potential out of this bike, which is what I'm planning to do. Do I like everything about this bike? The answer is no. It's a little bit heavy for my liking. There's also no rear suspension, so it could do with some rear suspension in my opinion. But apart from that, I'm very happy with this bike. The bike comes with a 1-year guarantee and free shipping, important. And as I said, not too hard to put together. 75% is already done. All of the tools are in the box, and it took me around an hour to get this thing fully set up. This bike is currently retailing at €1,419.99, but there's always discounts available, so it depends when you check online as to what price you will be paying. But in any case, there'll be an affiliate link in the description below that you can click on and get an extra €100 off the price of this bike. And for the price, I reckon it's worth it. So is it a bike? Is it a moped? Is it a scooter? I reckon it's all three. If you want to cruise around on this bike in a leisurely fashion at 25 kilometers an hour max, this bike is for you. If you want to go faster, you can also do that as well. All you have to do is remove the speed limit. There are some online tutorials on how to do that. Personally, I wouldn't recommend it unless you are a very skilled e-bike rider or motorbike rider, because as I said, this is a powerful beast. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you have anything to add to the conversation today, please, the comment section is the place for you. Would you be interested in a bike like this? Is it your type of bike, or is it just too powerful? Again, let me know in that comment section. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego from Madrid.